Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to a new live stream. Let's see. Let's get the microphone a little bit closer. It might look. It's always that fight, the dance, to get everything set because I use the same room for live streaming and for working and everything. So, welcome. Hey, my name's John Limcool. Let's get some cameras on. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Hey, so I'm trying different camera angles, so now you can see the hands while I'm playing like this, right? So hopefully that's helpful. Let's see. I can actually get this to be a little bit wider. Let's see, undo that and go over here. Ta-da! Oh, that's all the way. Okay. I won't worry about it. It looks fine. Hey, so we have a new library we get to play with. I also have a very cool piece of software to show you guys that it's cool. It's very, very cool. Let me see. Syndicate. It's C-Y-N. This is I'll tell you about the plugin in a little bit. Let's do this. Let's talk about this library first. Hello, my name's John Skippy Limcool, a name given to me while I worked at Korg many years ago. And it is stuck, and I've used it for all sorts of things now, and I'm happy with the name. I didn't like the name at first, but you know, when you're given a name that's like you're not a John, but you're a Skippy, you kind of go with it. So anyway, I have a website. Let's come over here and get this up like this so you can see. We have pluginguru.com, and there is a new library. This is UniFlow. It is all about really unique, incredible, inspiring. I think I pushed the wrong button. Yeah, wrong time. One more time. Come back. There, click. If you click on this, it'll take you right to it. It's at a 50% discount until March 1st. It's a wonderful library. I'm going to show it to you. It has all sorts of pads, tons of BPM stuff. And the really cool thing about this is the special effects, the ASMR, we call them, kind of the things that evoke tingling and cool sensations in sonics layered with all of these synthesizer sounds. So it's really kind of unique in that respect. I have another demo to play you. This is, you actually probably saw the keys. Looked like it was playing, but it wasn't playing what, it was playing another demo that was muted, so you didn't hear it. But I'm going to play it this time. You can see the knobs. This is one that I played in real time. I gave it a different name. It's Celeste because actually it's now the final name of the library. So I'm going to go over here. Let's have fun. This is Celestial Living. So we will select that. You can call this up. I'm thinking I'm going to give you guys the MIDI file for this if you want, so that it can play. I think that would put in all the automation data. I think. Maybe not because that's DAW specific. But anyway, if you want to hear the demo, I'll hit play and I'll stop talking. If I can get over here. Here's the automation. Filtering. You can see how things move around. Fun stuff. Hopefully it's being blocked. Okay, so here, I'll play it one more time so you can see some of the automation. Watch the filter moves here. So you hear the filter cutoff. Modulation goes all the way up. So it changes to a different vibe, takes the drums out. You got this really cool DX patch. A little customized patch for you guys. And if you stop the DAW, and you just play it, so I can play it live. Pretty cool. So this library has 233 patches in it. A lot of you have picked it up. I've gotten some really nice reviews already. Thank you to those of you leaving reviews. Thank you. Much appreciated. 5-star reviews so far for everybody. That's great. The bass is cool. I can give you a little tutorial on how I made that. It's layered with cello. And if you notice, the cello and the violin are split with cross-fading key zones. So it goes, if we were to solo just these guys, up higher violins, and then on top of this is Mr. OBXD just, and this is an example of a patch that I set to unison with 3 voices. And 3 voices is kind of a magic number for unison because this puts one sound to the left side of stereo, one to the right side of stereo, and one sound in the middle. So for bass, you want to use odd number unison for the most part if you want to have a little bit more presence in the middle channel. For if I change it to 4, I haven't seen that happen in a while. Okay. So come back here to Logic. Can Unify call back up? Yep. That was interesting. I have not seen that happen in a while. Wow. It's a pop-up on top of a menu on top of a window. That's the problem. Well, I'll show that to Shane. We'll see if we can find out why it's doing that, because it should not be doing that, right? Anyway. It's the 3-voice unison bass. Okay, I won't show it to you. We've learned our lesson. We won't do that. Let me get this resized. But it's a 3-voice unison. I love computer graphics. Now that I have a plugin that I've developed, I have a whole new level of respect for the people that do software. And dealing with, like, this is a window opening up as a pop-up on top of this window, on top of this window, inside of a DAW, and that causes an unexpected issue. So there you go. And it opened, but of course it's behind it. So it's basically, I used a little bit of stereo panning. It's a resonant filter with decay. Okay, let's do this. I was supposed to go over here. This back to be in the place where I want it. Tonda. Remember, the Japanese word for crash is tonda. We had a tonda. If I come over here and let's mute the violin and this for just for a second so we can. Really nice bass. OBXD is a. I muted you guys. Oh. Okay, what's happening here? Why am I hearing it? I guess I was not muting the right parts because it's farther down the... Oops. Well, solo works. So here you go. The main things that I used to get the bass was unison. If I turn it off, it's 2 oscillators. I've got a little bit of X mod. Maybe just a little bit of pitch EG, not much, but it's the filter that's really doing the fun. There's all this stuff to play with. So this is a good example of subtractive synthesis. Subtractive synthesis means You're starting with something bright, and then you want to subtract from it. And that's what your filter does, is it subtracts. And then we use a filter EG, which is over here, to shape that brightness. And if I want more of a rush kind of thing, bring up the resonance and so you can set it to where you have it resting someplace. This is what the filter cutoff, that's where it's going to finally rest. So you can choose where you want that to be, and then you use the filter EG. Because the sustain is at 0, this is important, because it's not up, it's at 0, which means this decay, envelopes naturally start at 100% and go to 0%. And if you have an attack, this is how slow it takes to get to 100%. And then once it gets to 100%, this is how much time it takes to get back down to wherever you determine for your sustain point. And I have it at 0, so that way I can choose my resting point with the filter cutoff. And then this is merely adding. So the filter that's what makes any synthesizer you play with that you really like, it's probably because of the filter. The oscillators are important, but the most important thing to me in a synthesizer is how organic the filter is, how nice the shape of the envelope is for decay. A lot of synthesizers don't have that nice, super exponential smooth decay. And so that's one of the really cool things that makes OBXD such a cool synth, and it's just an honor that we get to have that inside of Unify. It's really, really lovely. So, as far as to the upgraded version, I'm not sure, because you got to realize these plugins that we're using, you can install OBXD from the company that makes OBXD. It's a free downloader. You can pay some money to them as a thank you if you want. But Unify has all of these plugins stored in a different place. So if you added the other OBXD, Unify is not going to use it for our patches. Our patches go to a special folder. On the Mac, that location is inside of Applications. On PCs, I think it's a similar thing, but I think it's like a different location. I don't have the exact name in front of me. But inside of, let me see, hit open. Inside of the Applications folder, there's a plugin. I can't show you what's in my Applications folder right now. But inside of the Plugin Guru folder, there's a Unify folder. And then right here where it says VST, this is the plugins that Unify uses. And so they are in a completely different place than the VST folder, which is in the library audio. It's a whole different place. We do that on purpose so that we don't blow up. We don't want to add anything to your plugin list that is, unexpected per se. Because when you install a plugin, you don't expect it to install. What do we install? Something like over 40 plugins. It's a crazy number of plugins. We take all the 20 here, there's 19, and then 38 MDA plugins are all added to Unify when you install Unify. So if you were to get the upgraded version of OBXD, it's not going to make a difference for Unify, because Unify's patches are looking to an internal, what it considers internal set of plugins. So if you go to the standard library to anything that uses OBXD. By the way, this is a really cool feature of Unify that you might not know. Whatever library you're in, if you open up instruments, the reason for this tab is to show you what plugins are being used for all of the patches inside of this 51. So you can see all of the plugins instrument-wise that were used. And so if I hit OBXD, it's going to show me the 51 patches that use OBXD somewhere in it, right? If I go to Bells, Always Dreaming, there's OBXD. So this is a really cool way if you start working on your own projects and you start making a whole bunch of library patches, and then you want to show somebody or you want to get back to a patch. It's like, Oh, I used this plugin. So then you can open up the Instruments search tab, click that plugin. If I wanted to say, let's say DX'd, then boom, it will show you just patches. There's 82 patches out of the 640 in the factory voicing that use DX'd. So this way I know, oh, I can go to the keys, like Hydra. I've just... Also, it's a really nice ability to like find things out of a library by doing that if you need to. So just so you know, that's what these this is like to slim down your search criteria. So if author, I could go to Laurent Veronis's patch, and now I'm choosing patches that he made, so I could, so like, you know, back, off you go, right? Hi guys, and added unison. Yeah, no issues, no crash. I have a crash just because it's a particular scenario in a live stream. Oh, okay. Copy the layout. I have a camera over here on a tripod. Hello. Hi. And then I have a camera in front of me on this. And if I wanted to, I could like zoom this out so you can see more of the feed. But inside of OBXD, you can minimize the feed a little bit. Anyway, so this library, the new one, let's go back to it. Is I think Matthias Sauer might be here. Matthias, are you here? I can't, I'm not, I hadn't seen the list if he's here or not. So UniFlow is a library Matthias Sauer created. This is the third library for him. He did UniChill first, then UniLo-Fi, which are both wonderful libraries with all sorts of similar patches in some ways, but different in other ways. They're just really creative new patches. I really love his approach to voicing. He's done voicing for other companies. He's an experienced sound designer, so he has some experience with this stuff. We start the library with these ASMR patches that basically just give you the vibe of oh, thank you, Tim. Yeah, Tim's pointing out where you find that folder. Don't change anything in that folder, please. Unify will have conniptions and complain if you move anything out of that folder, because that's the heart of Unify. The scanning application is in there. That happens in the background when you go to the scanner for plugins and you go over here and you say, start to scan. It can scan in the background because it's a separate application in that folder. So don't affect it. Don't change it. You can hit cancel and go away. Okay, thank you. So anyway, you've got these really lovely kind of tingly sounds. And then in this library, the concept was to combine these types of sounds. What if you made really cool patches using these? He aimed for a little bit faster tempo than UniFlow-Fi, so this is more the dance tempos. So if you get to like the BPM ARPs, there's some really cool, I love where's Fish. This is really fun for the kind of vibe. There's 3 drum kits in the library. So if you get down here, a drum kit, there's a wave drum kit, there's a flow kicks, which is some unique sounding kicks, and then a perk and effects. Which is really fun to make a track with that, to then like write a song with, have that as like an element. But look at all these BPM patches, and they're really, really fun for, again, synthesis plus sound effects. Really cool, fun stuff. Now I'm showing this in my DAW, so it's playing the same tempo for everything. I'd have to go to Logic. Really, really fun. So all sorts of creative ideas. Got the macro knobs over here so you can. There are all sorts of fun ways. You know, and then if you want to like go over here to the BPM drum, there's kicks right here. So just change your load mode to low. Okay, right click. Oh, you're gonna do that. This is a fun one. Let's say no plugin. And try that again. And hopefully this fixes it. This is one of these things in Logic that it does sometimes for me. UniFlow, come back. I might have to go to the standalone because usually I play Unify in standalone, so it follows tempo per track, all that kind of stuff. Not lo-fi. UniFlow. It's very at lo-fi and flow. It's kind of a funny change on names, right? So. Okay, yeah. So it's going to be uncooperative. So we're going to do this. Say. Stop the plugin. And I need to get a keyboard up so you guys see the keys I'm playing. So let's go audio units, show MIDI, keyboard over here. How was your week? Did everybody have a good week? It's been a good week here. A lot of work. Getting a library out is yes, a new concept for ASMR. Yeah, that was real. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so we're back to our normal. I always get in trouble when I try to load Logic songs that were not my original, just default simplified live stream. It never fails. There's just gremlins that show up, and I apologize for that little buzz moment there. We should be up and oh, you're not up and running. Okay, change. Okay, great. 1 second. Let me quit this and see if we can get audio back. Have to run things in the right order sometimes. There, hello. And if you run this and then you run Logic, then it's love it. Anyway, so again, this is really, really cool sound design mixed with synthesis. There's so many different examples of possible bass ideas. And if you wanted to build on these, it's pretty simple. All you have to do, go down here to BPM Perk. This is the grooves with the wave drum kit. Change your loading mode to Unify layer. You go up here to BPM kick. Right? And then all you have to do at this point, if you want, this is more like for the left hand, right? So I'm going to go to the G8, which is the top note of all 4 layers, and right click them. And then I'm going to play B in the middle of my keyboard. And in order to do this, you have to make sure under the settings that you don't have, where is it? There's an option. If you have this option on, it won't work. Unify bank program changes. Here we go. Note range pop-ups. Make sure that's turned off. Otherwise, when you right click, it's not going to pop up the question mark. But by having that off and then right clicking on them, you can now play a key on the keyboard to update key ranges. And then let's go over here to BPM sequence. These are one note plays a song. So let's go over here and let's alt right click and say load this as a Unify layer, which is the same as what I have selected here. Right? Now it's playing the whole keyboard, so we need to go over here. There's all sorts of ways to change the low note range. You can right click in the actual bar and drag, or you can click in the C-2 and drag, or you can right click and then just play the note on the keyboard that you want it to stop the key range at. So now, so they're synced because they're both sequences. And if I didn't like this one, I could open up this Unify layer and we know what library you're in, what patch you're calling up, so you can just call another patch. If the volume's too loud, go over here, turn it down. And because of how fun this is, let's just keep going. Let's go to Blue Waters. Let's add that. Give it its key range of being C3 as well. I think we have a bonus patch coming. Two notes. You know, some people poo-poo this stuff, but it's very convenient. The thing that's fun with this is that if you want, you could go in and turn off the blue ARP for everything, and now you have set this to MIDI channel whatever you want it to be by by just clicking here, say MIDI channel 1 for the bass, set the drums to their own MIDI channel, and now you can build the song without these ARPs playing and use whatever you want to sequence with, right? And have these sounds as your template. So what I like for the concept behind all the BPM stuff is this is a great way to get a palette of sounds together, and then you can keep the parts with the opening, put one of these, and just mute the MIDI box, and now it's not going to play. And you go to the other Unify layer and mute the MIDI box, and then if I set these to different MIDI channels, I'm not in a DAW, so I can't do it right now, but set each one to different MIDI channels, and now they only play when they get information on those MIDI channels. So now you have, and at this point, you can even actually change the key range to be the full range for each of these, right? For the whole thing. Because now each one will be sequenced, so you don't need to do the key range thing. But let's see, let's get back to, oh, we want to do the top one. So top. Let me give you this bonus patch if you guys want it. I have never made a bonus patch and said, do you want it? And I've never seen anybody say, no, thank you. Now, it's not playing the sequences for the right hand because I turned them off. So I just go up here and turn back on those. And we turn on the bass. Oh, I messed up. I gotta have the key range to the bottom. Sorry about that. So now, how do you turn on latch? Latch is over here where it says in. This is where you're going to tell Unify to just listen to the in. If you have a MIDI effect layer above, let's call this Disneyland. Now when I click in, Disneyland shows up in this list, and whatever MIDI effects are here can be sent into that layer. If I get rid of this layer, say delete, Disneyland goes away, but you have right here 2 different latch modes. You've got mono latch and poly latch. Now, if you do this, you're going to want to probably not be in your DAW because your DAW is going to be sending clock information, and you want to go over here to key transport and go over here and set this to latch. That way you're telling it that you're going to be doing something where it's sustaining notes and it's not, you don't want it to re-trigger up above. Let's make this a latch. Say mono latch, and you have to say it for each of the layers. So we want all 4 of the left-hand parts to be a mono latch, and I have to click the little L button to turn it on. So now that plays. But when I play up here, notice, what the heck? It's not supposed to do that. That's because my transport range is listening to the whole keyboard. That's why we have a key range right here. So if I right click here and hit B, oh, Blue ARP ignores this. Our MIDI box does not ignore this, but Blue ARP does. Let's see, let's say stop. Yeah, I've noticed that. That's for some reason Blue ARP is listening above the layers of our MIDI note constraints. So, oh no, this is the other layers. Excuse me, because this layer here kind of has a bass sound kind of thing on it. I think that's the bass. So it works. So you can play it. Okay, I got this backwards. I've got to stop. Maybe I think we need to set this key range in this case all the way down the keyboard because I need Blue ARP to start and just kind of like ignore the clock, because what happens if you play a note, now when you play another note, it will keep playing. But now you can take your hands on the keys, play all you want up here. So, and then you play another note and that will stop it. So we'll call this flow and latch. Let's call it a latch patch. flow with latch split, just so we know what it is, and it's gonna take off. And I made this, so we'll put my name in here. And categories, let's see, split latch. And I'm going to save this into the library UniFlow, so that's where it will show up. And let's give it a Z so that shows up at the end of the list so we know it's a bonus. Save as, save. Maybe I'll make a couple more before the, we'll get these two before the end of lunch. Let's see, we got some questions I want to answer. Blue Art blew it up. It didn't blow it up, it's just we're dealing with lots of different things that listen to clock. And so the challenge is to get things to not listen to clock, but be still listening to a clock that's the master clock. And the trigger page is where you determine what's going to re-trigger, which messes up clock of different things. And Blue Art doesn't like getting information. If I have it up here, MIDI latch should, you'd actually probably set this to manual start and stop. Right? That's the other way to do this. So this way, if you have it to the full key range, but you just say trigger, don't restart the clock, don't start the clock. And so now everybody runs, but they don't have something telling them where to play, but they're all to the same, they're still listening to the clock. It's just trigger modes. It's kind of confusing. In a DAW, you don't have to worry about this because there's just one clock. And it only plays for the most part when you hit play in your sequencer. Unify, it's different because I can hit play and start this and then start up here. Now I just set new triggers. Do I restart the clock when I play up here? It can be a little bit challenging to work with. So here, let's update this. Go save, update. So let me show you some more stuff in this library. Let me answer, there's a couple questions. Let's see, do you have Cinescore presets for Unify? There is a library that Bob Dedes did. I don't have it here right now, so let me get this to show so I can show you. It's called Renegade, and it is a cinematic library, more aimed at cinematic trailers and so forth. Let's go over here. Give me like 1 minute and I'll have this for you to see. So go over here, Cinescore Renegade, go like that, hold Option and reload. Oh my gosh. See, I do these live streams also, just it's my part of my beta testing process. I have to use Unify for 90 minutes with you guys and show you how it works, and I can test things while I'm doing this. And if there's issues and stuff, that's how we fix problems. We've been doing this for 4 years. And, you know, so it's still a little confusing at times to me for the trigger and how it works because, you know, I don't know if something happened. I'll have to talk to Shane to find out if Latch is doing something that it didn't do in a past version or something like that. But here's Renegade. This is a really interesting library. There's a whole bunch of menus. So if we go over here to call these up, we have, oh, let's say normal mode. So it just loads up the menu by itself. All this kind of stuff, vocalizers, claps. There's a drum kit. Trailer percussion. All these hits. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, you'll love this. Especially if you like the more aggressive side of. Grooves like this, brass, then he has some guitars that are just insane in this library. that kind of stuff. All sorts of mutes, Vox layers. Then there's BPM bonus stuff that we made for this. So crazy stuff. It's a fun library. This kind of stuff. Different than UniFlow, but you know, live streams are kind of a flowing thing, so we got to go around and show what people ask for. I like to show off what's going on. All right, let's go back to flow. Take a breath. Let's play Earthpad. Let's do some combining. We'll make a couple more bonus patches. Water on Mars, why not? Let's add some percussion. I want to build something a little bit more rhythmic. Now I'm going to go to the percussion. I want it to be a little bit different. So we have the knobs. Let's go to the kicks. Let's do this. We're going to play this a little bit. So go over this layer. It's using MIDI box, right? So if I go over here and I solo the kick, he's got these patterns that have different notes. He's playing actually different kicks. So I'm going to go over here to MIDI box. I'm going to use the filtering for the key range. So that sporadic one is below B4 or lower. So I'm going to go to B4. And I want to halftime this. So I'm going to go halftime. Or maybe even a chord just like that. Now, I actually want the kick pattern to be more than that, but I'm going to do a trick to do it. I'm going to use delay to find the timing value that I want it to do. Like, let's say like 8th note dotted, no feedback. So, and then I'm going to bring down the filter for this following. Let's give some feedback. So I just have this now. And it's distorting a little bit. So let's do this. Let's see. Now, I need to fill this with something else in the higher frequencies. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to use DX'd. I'm going to make a fresh patch just from scratch for the most part. But I'm going to start with a bank. So I want to add an instrument. I'm going to go to the list of presets. This is a really quick way to find something in a direction you want to go. And I'm going to go to the plucked bank and just add that. I'm going to just select right here and I'm going to add blue ARP, before, on just this one layer, I'm going to go to the type and I'm going to set everything to random. And then I'm just going to like click around here so I get it to be a cool little pattern. And if I want to, I could play velocity. And now I need to find the sound that I want. So open DX, go to the cart, and here's all the patches that I put together this bank 4 years ago of just that's kind of what I was thinking of. But this sound doesn't have any weight to it yet, right? So I could try the effects that are here. I want to do some fun automation. Let's have this, let's get a little bit deeper in this. So I want to automate this knob for the reverb because I really like when it hits max, but I don't want it to be max all the time, right? I want it to do something like this. Right? Just a little splash every now and then. Okay, to do that, you have to make this into a Unify layer, which is very simple. You just go over here to the little dot and you say, move this into a new embedded Unify. And now it has put inside of Unify that patch. And then I'm going to take this auxiliary effect chain. It has to be its own thing. So we're going to go over here. We're going to say copy. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say paste. And it pastes whatever layer is in the buffer. So now I have this. And now that this is inside of a Unify layer, inside of this patch, I can go over here to the MIDI effect tab and I can just say, add me a CC writer from the utility of the MIDI effects. And so I wanted actually to just do this. Let's get rid of this middle point by double clicking and then drag up. So it's just going to go from 0 to the max and then it goes back to 0. So it's going to be just repeating this cycle. Now I can go over here to the knobs in that Unify layer. This is where you want to do it. And you go to this and you say assign to CC20. And look at it's now dancing to whatever the shape is of CC writer here. And I want it to be slower. So let's give it 4 bars. So now, see how this is slowly moving? So all I have to do now is just assign whatever I want to this knob that's parameters of any plugin that you see inside of this Unify layer. It could be stuff you add here. I mean, it's crazy how fun this is. So go over here to linked parameters. Let's just give it, I like to use this, actually. This is my favorite. Well, they're different for different applications. What this does is says, set it to the current value and then leave it at that for the max 0.2. So that way they're both at 0. So now it's just really easy for me to like just go like this. Let's maybe make it a little bit more of a curve. See how it gave me a little splash? Now, the beautiful thing Shane did that I asked for is he made this so I can double click and add extra breakpoints anywhere I want. So I could make little tiny boop every now and then. have it do one more here. And you have to be careful because as soon as you click one of these nodes, it's changing. You see the value on the screen? It's changing it in real time. So see, it's hard to do this and play at the same time because it's going to jump to that value. But now you get the idea, right? Use the mod wheel. That makes everybody else dark. Now, if I wanted to get even deeper, because we like deeper, right? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to embed this sound as well into a Unify layer. And we know the steps. Once you do that, just go over here to Unify Standard, Utility, CC Writer. Let's just have it do a simple. And by the way, there's presets here. So if you want, you could just click here and just say calculated saw up. And it's the same thing just to quickly get that shape. And then open this up. Don't do that. Go to the knobs and go over here. And you need to assign it to CC20. And because it's a separate layer, it can be the same CC number and they're not going to conflict or anything like that. And now it's dancing as well. And I could go to here and it's using Guru Sampler. So I just want to go to the filter cutoff. Let's say minimum to max, just for fun to see what it does. Say filter cutoff. And what it's doing, open up Guru Sampler. Here's this knob, just dancing away. So let's see what that sounds like in the mix. Now I have more frequency content dancing around. And if that reverb's too much, just go ahead and turn it down. And I'm not changing any of the modulation stuff, so I can just control the volume. Now, that filter, that reverb trick is happening inside of this Unify layer. I still have right here the global reverb. If I want to have it not be totally dry when it goes to 0, just bring this up so it sends a little bit into the auxiliary at the top level. See, so instead of dry, oh, I got it. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. Let me see one more thing. Mod wheel. It's not doing anything, and I wanted to do something else. Let's have it. These are mod wheel instructions for this Guru sampler, and so it's listening to those. If I bring this down, it overrides everybody because it's bringing the filter cutoff so far down that it goes away. So So I can still make that go away. Okay, let's get even deeper. So I'm gonna go to this Unify layer, number 6, and I'm gonna open this up. I want the mod wheel to change some parameters inside of DX. Now to do that, when you make a Unify layer, it erases it. There's no MIDI CC assignments until you make them. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna say assign to CC1, and then I can open this up just by right-clicking if I want. And let's open up DX really quick. So 6, this is one of the, if you look up here at the little numbers, this tells you the frequency content. That'd be cool. So if I go over here to the Guru ear, and I click that, and then I move this, boom, it's got it. So now, so with that max, this is the sound it's going to be. And I can click right here and change it and hear it. And it's supposed to start at 6. So let's bring it up to 6. Maybe 5. So there. Now I have it so as I move the mod wheel up and the pad gets dark, the FM synth is going to have frequencies that are going to go up. So I'm doing some complex things now with the modulation wheel. Hear how that makes it do this really just fun stuff. Cool. All right, what should we call this? Okay. Good. Sylvan, I'm glad. Yeah. Ice flow rising. Ooh, I like that rising idea. Kick has got just a little bit too much low end in this case. So I'm going to go over here to EQ, filter max. Just shape it just a little bit less low end. Because here it's like, wow. Shouldn't be doing that much. Okay, ice flow rising is the vote. Okay, so Z BPMs pad. This is a pad. You play it. I've always you can play 2 hands across the keyboard. That's a pad. Ice flow rising. All right. Okay, ice flow rising. Let's see. Categories is a BPM pad. And we'll say motion, percussion, live stream. And let's say John Limcool. And this is a pad made in the February 10th live stream. Save as. Save. Here, let's do this. Let's do flow with latch, split, and add. Oh, wait. I have it as a Unify layer. Go like this. And let's put live stream on this as well. And this is a split, 2 notes. Let's say update. And then I'm a fan of copy and paste for stuff like this. Copy, cancel over here, save, paste. All right, let me give you these patches, and then we're going to move on to something else that's going to blow your minds. So let's go over here. We're going to make a folder called libraries, right? And I need to take from the Plugin Guru libraries folder, UniFlow. Where are you at? Copy that here. And then I'm going to go into these. We don't need MIDI files, and we don't need samples. And in the patches folder, I'm just going to go to date modified. And at the top of the list will be these 2 new patches. So we delete everything else but these 2 patches. And now I just zip it. Zip it. And then we'll name this bonus, live stream bonus, and then Guru. Okay, yes, use Guru, please. And then let's go over here, and we'll go to the freebies folder, and I'll make a little folder for this. And let's see here, freebies, unified libraries. This is UniFlow Volume 1. Let's put this in here. Copy the Dropbox link. And we can delete this folder now. And put this into, there you go. Now you guys have 2 bonus patches for UniFlow. I'll put right here in the chat. In the video description, it has the link too. Bonus patches made for UniFlow. Okay. And let's see here. I'm going to go over here and copy this. I'm also putting, we're going to be looking at a plugin called Syndicate in a minute. An audio effect. There we go. So someone has made a, let's just call it a we want to do, we've mentioned this, I think, in the live stream before. We would like to make a Unify plugin that only works with audio effects. And we haven't designed it yet. We haven't built it. Shane is working very hard on an update for Unify that will be coming out later this year. That is awesome. I can't wait to show it to you guys. But we haven't started a multi-effect plugin. But someone has. And it's available. It's very reasonably priced. And the money you pay goes to support the conditions and the efforts in Ukraine. So there's some really interesting stuff like that going on. So let me tell you about this. Now, first of all, let me just cover, just so we're wrapped up. All you have to do is drag that .guru file over Unify's interface and say OK, and you will have 2 bonus patches at the end If you go to the UniFlow library and you hit the little reload lightning bolt, it will scan this library and it will add these patches if they don't show up at the end of the list. So now there's 235 patches if you add the 2 bonus patches to this incredibly fun, creative, beautiful, inspiring library. If you own this and you really love it, please consider going to the website and writing a little review. I send you guys, I think it's a 20% coupon code so that you can save money on your next purchase. So that's once I approve it and it goes onto the site. I think we have a couple reviews already, just one so far. And it's a really great review because he's like, still different with thousands and thousands of presets out there. It's impressive having this level of innovation. They're not groundbreaking, but they're meant more as like the first choice to build up a library of possibilities. But having already thousands of presets, this library is one that will still add something unique. So yeah, that's a nice review. Thank you. Anyway, if you write a review, I will approve it, and you get a little coupon to save you some money on your next purchase. And I thank you for doing so. But this was a cool library. It really came out nice. There's so many places to go. Listen to the demos. There's a video walkthrough that I created for this. Matthew Sauer did a really, really nice job on it. So very, very happy to add it to the, I think this is library 36 for Unify. So there's a lot of libraries. If you go to the home page, and if you click just Unify by itself, it will list all of the libraries that are available for Unify. And there's so many different libraries. A number of them are free. The Uniscreams are free. What else is free in here? The 808 Day is free. There's the Guru Collective, I think shows up at the top of the list. Yeah, Guru Collective is a free library we did. Here's the other Uniscream. Halloween time, we always do a free library for some reason. It's kind of funny. ReCycle LITE is also free, which is a little small smattering of the drum kits and samples and all the crazy stuff that comes with the full version of ReCycle. But yeah, there's 36 libraries now for Unify, and we can load more so it gets all the way to that's the full amount. So a lot of good stuff, We're having a good time. I love supporting Unify with new libraries, and I thank you all for supporting us by buying them. Helps me keep doing this full time. So it's a win-win for all of us. So thank you. So this other thing I want to show you. Let's do this. I see my windows need to be sized just a little bit different. So there and there. Not a biggie, but nice to get them all there. Okay, so Syndicate, let's do this. Let's call up a simple patch like a piano from the Unify standard library. So if we go over here to keys, let's say just the Steinway Grand. And I'm going to actually load this as a Unify layer just to make it easier. Add this as a Unify layer and then boom, boom, boom. So it's just. And let's add a MIDI effect because I want to be able to play notes and have it do some dancing things without me having to play it a whole bunch so that I can be showing you how things work. So let's go MIDI box. Again, the steps to get really fun stuff with MIDI box is to go up to step type, click there, drag on random. Now in this case, I'm going to turn some parts off, but I'm going to go over here and click chord. And then maybe the whole thing I want to half time it. So I'm going to go here to the sync. So now I've slowed it down. Right? Okay. So right click here, say Syndicate. And this is a very interesting plugin. I think you can get it for what is it, like $25 or $15 for the full version. which is like a no-brainer price. I will tell you, it doesn't load all of your plugins. It can load most of them, but there's some of them that it can't. It can't load waves. I've gotten into a little plugin alliance. I'll show you some stuff. We have a really cool utility that Shane made. Let me find the link for this and get it to you. Where is it at? It's a little free utility that he made. I might have put this on my desktop. So come over here and find this and compress it. I'm going to put it into a Unify folder and give you a link for it. What this does is this is a little application that will take your Unify plugin list and paste it into this automatically. So now when I go over here and I hit plus plugin, it's showing me all the plugins that are audio effects that are inside of my list from Unify. I didn't have to scan them because scanning is a pain in the butt. And because this uses Juice, Shane was able to just simply make this simple little utility. So if we go over here to freebies, let's see, like that. And let's go over here to here. Copy this Dropbox link and paste it. I'll put this into our chat as well. And let me put this into here as well. And it's called Pimplex. What's it called? What Pimplex. It's the plug-in manager or plug-in import export. That's what it stands for. And all you have to do is run this, and there's a Mac version and a PC version. You run the Mac version, and then all you do is you click the Export Unify's plugin list to Syndicate by White Elephant. And just by clicking that, boom, done. It takes literally seconds. You have to have Syndicate installed first so that the folder's there to do this stuff. Thanks, Dropbox. And by doing that, it will put the plugins that are known to Unify into Syndicate. So now you can use it right off the bat. And it's a similar window to what you have in Unify. You've got a place up top to type. So I could say reverb. And here's all the reverbs that I have. Now the waves ones won't load. I've told you if you double click this, you're going to get this failed to load plugins. It doesn't know what to do because Waves has the Wave shell. Theirs is a non-standard type of an installation, but Galactic Reverb will load. Let's maybe use a different reverb. That's not my favorite. It's nice and interesting, but they have a couple buttons here. There's a button for opening the interface. They have one here that will say, replace this with another plugin. So let's go to Pure Plate from Universal Audio is really nice. And right now, there's some interesting things. Why would you do this? Well, first of all, I can click other plugin and I could say flanger, and I could use whatever flanger I wanted to use, and it'll just keep adding them to the list. And I could say I want to have like a delay. And I could go to tube delay from tube, soft tube. So I'm using 3 different plugins from 3 different companies. And I think I can click to change the order of them. So if I want the delay before the reverb, right? And then if you notice down here, the thing that's interesting, and the reason I even bring this to your attention, is that this has an envelope follower and LFOs, which can be assigned to parameters inside of any of these plugins that are loaded. Also, if you look at the top, you have the ability to set this into parallel or into multi-band, where you can have these plugins in different frequency ranges. So if I want just the delay to be in the second part above, like say 2700, Hey,
Hi.
I'm in a live stream.
Oh.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone.
It's my daughter.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Call me
Okay,
after.
I'll call you afterwards.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Anyway, so there's other options. There's mid side, there's left and right. If you wanted to have like delay on the right side, you can do that kind of stuff too. So it's really interesting. They've got, oh, let's see if I go left, right. Do I get my delay back? Okay, put that back over here. Now go to series. Now I'm gonna mute by the power switches. I'm gonna turn off everything except the reverb to start with, because they have a couple cool things. I don't know why they have a mute up here, but the M here does not stand for mute. It stands for modulation. So if you see, let's click that. See, save. Did I put the Syndicate White Elephant? I saved that. So now I can close this. Hi, beautiful daughter. That's wonderful. Hey, I see the video. Electro Blue. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Thank you. Love it when my customers say, hey, I'm buying stuff. It's all very happy. But anyway, check this out. So you can go over here, and if you click plus parameter, it will list the parameters that are in this plugin. Let's use mix to just make this easy. So now it's dry. Okay, why are you not dry? Let me go over here and see what's going on. I might have something. What's going on? Yeah. So mute this. Why isn't this? Oh, this is the mix on the. Okay, and that's not working. Okay, cool. Wet. Oh, you know, I might be in wet solo mode. Hold on a second. Because UAD has this unique thing that they like to do where, yeah, it's set in solo. So let's turn that off. Now, there we go. When you call up UAD effects, they default for reverbs to having a solo mode. So it's 100% processing in case it's on an auxiliary bus. Turn that off. And now, right? So I can do a couple things. If I want, I could say drag the little cross arms up to here, and you see it puts a 1. And so it's keeping a track of what's assigned. And then what you have to do is you click on the 1 and drag up or down for positive or negative modulation. And here's your rate. We're going to actually be talking to this developer on Monday because it needs to go slower than 0.50. That's not slow enough for me. But it's doing it. What's even more interesting is instead of an LFO, I think we can just right click and that goes away. Use an envelope follower. And so now you can have a lot of reverb. Bring this down, go to the envelope follower and bring up the amount. Now it's doing ducking. So you can now add a ducker to any effect you own, which is pretty cool. So, and you have envelope stuff. So any reverb that doesn't have a ducker, you can now add a ducker to it. And we go to the delay. Let's turn the delay on. Oh, is that the flanger? That's the delay. Let's open up the interface. Where's my delay? Tube delay. Tempo sync. So then you could add things to the mix. Let's have this be faster. So I could modulate that with an LFO. So all I would need to do for that, go to the tube delay, hit the M button, hit plus, and let's say mix. And then I'm going to have an LFO change that. So just drag over here and have it be like this. And now, see, it's dancing the knob. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys like the cameras. Yeah, I'm always working to try to get things better, so forth. I made a couple example patches last night to show you. Here's a delay and distortion on a patch to show you what's going on, so you can it's just a kalimba and Syndicate. And to be honest, there's work to do here, because this square, even at full depth, it doesn't have much of a square vibe. It doesn't like go cut off and up and so forth. So, you know, but it gives you modulation. For drums, it's really cool. Here's reverb, delay, and granular. And for this, I just put Syndicate down here at the global output. So, and I'm using it in parallel. So I have a plate for one chain, and then I have delay, object delay going into fragments. So all this really cool stuff happening. And you see different knobs changing and dancing around and so forth. So, if you guys want to have, it's not Unify effects. That's something we want to still do. We see I have all sorts of plans for that, because then you can like really go interesting into some really cool. We'll just say it's going to be cool when it comes out. That's in the future to work on for sure. But Syndicate is a good start, and it's an affordable place to start playing with layering effects and doing really cool things with them. So if you want to check it out, feel free to do so. In the video description, I have where you can download this little Pimplex, the plugin import exporter that Shane created, which is a simple little utility. You just double click, and then you just click export Unify's plugin list to Syndicate, and boom, it's there. And if I don't recommend Syndicate's plugin to Unify, just because you don't need to do that. Unify knows what's going on already. Probably best not to do that, especially if you haven't set Syndicate up or something like that. Is the LFO tempo synced? The LFO can be tempo synced, although I can't get it to be slow enough. I was trying to do in different dividing factors. Even in 16.1, it should be super, super slow, and it's not. And again, the shapes, there's only so many shapes. The sine is okay. There's no triangle. Sa, it's a little, as you change the depth, it changes the shape of the saw. So, and that changes how it actually does modulation. But it's a fun place to play and experiment with, stuff like that. Inputs revert to 0 after removing the things. Hi, David Scott Ward. Good to see you, man. Welcome for joining. Yes. So, I think we're about to wrap up. UniFlow is out. People are loving it. Thank you for the kind comments in the stream. It's something. Let's see. Matthias came to me over 6 months ago with the idea for that library, and he's been working on it. We've gone back and forth a little bit on it and so forth. And he did just a bang up wonderful job. It's got really creative and it's different. Can't tell you how important it is to be still doing different when you're on to, like, this is our 100th library. We've done a lot of libraries, and the whole concept of adding audio effects into the patches is really cool. Put those. Because a lot of dance music, there's just something going on in the background that's not set to tempo, and it's just kind of like, it's just this cool energy. And that's where I think this can really be handy, is to put these like energetic sounds into the mix. And if you needed to have some definition, you can go over here to the knobs, to the pump house. That can give you the shape. And then open up pump house if you want. Play with the parameters if you want. Go to the presets. Choose other ones. And then if you get one that's really fast, then you just go over here to change the time clock division. You know, if you take that and you put that with a BPM ARP or a BPM pad, let's right click and say, let's add this. And then open a pump house. A couple things on pump house. If you hold down, I believe it's Option, or is it Command? No, it's Shift. There we go. Shift gives you absolute clock timing for moving the points around, and then Option, if you click and drag, will only let it go up and down, so it doesn't change timing points. So if you hold down Shift, you can get to where you get these guys to be right on the clock. Right? Let's see if we go over here and say Unify layer. Let's add a BPM perk. Right? So that's how you get that kind of stuff to go. I'm not going to make that a bonus patch. It's not quite right. And you see how easy it is to do. If you just want to load up ambient, what was this? The first patch was the droplets, ASMR droplets, and then BPM pad, Conte, and then alter ego flow, BPM perk, and then the BPM kick, flow kick 5. If you click those 4 patches, you'll have this, and then turn up pump house on the first layer. And change the preset to find some sort of a dancey, pulsy thing, and off you go. All right? So, it's somewhere around 100 libraries. I don't have the exact number. Taylor and I are in the process of trying to, we release the library every month to keep the bills paid, keep the doors open, keep doing this. There's no extra money in the bank. That's how it works. And so this has been going on for a long time. And, I love to make patches. And so we have so many cool ideas. I'll tell you, we have a sneak library coming in March. I'll show you just a second about it. It's with this guy. Let's see here if I go over here. Can you see this? Get over to OBS. This is a TB303 clone. I actually have another one. TB303 clone. This guy here, the Donner. I have been sampling them because unlike every other year when it comes to March 3rd, 303 Day, I'm actually planning a library to celebrate the day, which I've never done before. So it's kind of fun. And let's see, is TB Party here? Let me show you what I'm doing. So I'm sampling a TB303, and it's not a real TB303. There's a lot of libraries with that. I wanted a little bit different vibe. And I've made, there's 3 different ones for the Donner. Right? And it's cool to have the different sounds with the different amounts of resonance. But the reason I'm doing this is because Unify can now do some crazy things with these patches. It can take these 5 patches and cycle between them. If I open up this one Unify layer, it's going crazy cycling between non-resonant to resonant TB303. Which you can't do anywhere else. I don't know anywhere else where I've seen people doing this kind of stuff with samples. Some of the synthesis and stuff, you can do that. But so there's all sorts of TB type patches and stuff coming to celebrate TB303. It'll be a cheap library. It's just for fun, but fun to work on stuff like this. So, and there's other sneak peeks coming. I can't even tell you, but be on the lookout. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. You're going to want to know. One hint, next week is Valentine's Day. And so there might be something special showing up. So make sure that you go to the website, go down to the bottom of the list, and there's a newsletter sign up for the newsletter so that you get notified when new stuff comes out all the time, stuff like that. I'll put out probably a little blast tomorrow letting people know that this live stream is here covering Syndicate and UniFlow so people can get more information on both. Let's do our shout outs. Where are you guys at? Where in the world is everybody at? Oh, and smash the like button. Bang, bang, bang. Smash it. Type something. This secret spell. Let's see. London. Hello, London. Essex. Hello, Dawn. My friend. Good job. We got Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Sweet. Wisconsin. Yeah, it's rough weather there. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It stopped raining and it's sunny. Tomorrow there's a super high tide, so I'm getting up early to go to a place called Cape Disappointment on the Washington coast to photograph huge waves crashing. So hopefully I can get some wave action. Should be fun. Look at that. Cologne, Chicago, Wales, Florida. Hello, Florida. Good to see you, man. Germany. We got Dave up in Louisville, Colorado. Glad you could join us, Dave. Man, right on. So cool. Virginia, shout out. Good to see you, Don Oliver. Cool. Well, thank you all for joining. Shout out from Sacramento. Cool. It's good to see you all. We'll do this again next week, of course, because we like to do this every week and have lots of fun. Thank you for joining. And yeah, just have a great creative week. I hope you guys all have great fun. And be on the lookout. I'll just give you a clue. There's something fun coming. So, all right. Good to see you all. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated. Okay. See you next week or sooner.